Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code. This is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Thursday, the 4th of November 2021. The time is 4:20 in the morning GMT. Asian session coming to close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, Wednesday the 3rd then, this was Fed day yesterday. We've got a positive opposed driver in the pound at plus 185, front and back door flows mainly coming out the yen at minus 142, out the dollar at minus 103, and the euro was the positive rock at plus 60, activity plus or minus 245. Intra-week then, this is becoming more relevant. It's from Monday the 1st, open to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a positive unopposed driver in the euro this time, plus 140, no backdoor flows, the opposing negative flows mainly coming out the pound at minus 71, out the yen at minus 65, and the dollar is the negative rock at minus 4, activity plus or minus 140. Right, so what was going on then? So basically we've got this reversal. You can see that the dollar's basically parked now, sort of in a neutral position. And yesterday we had this pound strength going into the complex. Bearing in mind today we've got the Bank of England rates decision, so that's interesting. So the pound had been sold off, it then came back significantly yesterday, and we've got yen weakness off the back of the equity transmission. Anyway, talk about that in a minute. Intraday, so this is the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago, we've got a positive opposed driver in the dollar at plus 53, front and back door flows mainly coming out the yen at minus 29, out the pound at minus 26, and the euro is the positive rock at plus 2, activity plus or minus 55. So in Asia we've got a little bit of a reversal going on. We've still got this yen weakness, we've got dollar strength coming back, and the euro's come off a bit. So that's where we are. We'll just write up the flows and then talk a bit further. Right, we've written up the flows then. So the euro is weak except against the yen and the pound. The yen is weak except against the pound. The pound is weak across the board. The Swiss is strong except against the dollar, the AUD and the NZD. The CAD is weak except against the yen, the euro and the pound. The AUD is strong across the board. The NZD is strong except against the AUD and the dollar is strong except against the AUD. So what have we got then? We've got pound weakness in the Asian session across the board, AUD strength across the board, and you've got this you've got dollar strength except against the AUD, so you've got secondary dollar strength, and you've got, as I said, secondary yen weakness here, with the pound being the most weak. So what's going to knock it about, or has knocked it about? Well, we've had positive AUD trade balance, so that partially explains this pump in the AUD. So that's where we are there. We've got a Bank of England rates announcement today, and we had this big pump up in the pound yesterday, and now they're just coming off in lieu of this critical rates decision. So we're getting a little bit of some of the froth coming off the pound, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Right. And then Friday we've got the Reserve Bank of Australia monetary policy statement, and we've got some euro retail sales and NFP non-farm payrolls and CAD employment change. So there's a fair bit in the tube. Right, so we'll stop it there and write up the asset classes and then do the final analysis. Right, we've written up the asset classes then. So US dollar index, previously big pump up, came back down, and it's now coming back up. It's 0.24 from the high, 25%, 24% from the high, come off a quarter. Gold is 0.4 from the floor, so it's below half marks. Basically it's been dirging around, it's soft basically. Oil did this big break, it's now come back 0.26 from the high, so it's come back nearly a quarter, 25% from the high, well over a quarter, 25% from the high. Wall Street, S&P Tech, they've all did this break, and they're all basically at or near their highs. Wall Street is 0.14 above the resistance, 14% above the resistance. S&P 20% above the resistance, and Tech 16% above the resistance. So 14, 20, 16, all in the ballpark. They're all basically lockstep in it. What we're looking for is divergence in the indexes going forward, but we haven't got it at the moment. We did have it in the tech. The tech's caught up. Right, what we got? US 10-year in the bund. This is the price. Remember, big pump down in price, rising yields, and then we had this bounce in price. It's not 0.18 from the floor in the US 10-year and 0.29 from the floor in the bund. So the price of the bund has significantly bounced more than the US 10-year in relative terms. So yields have come off the European end more than the US, or US yields are relatively stronger than Euro yields. Depends how you want to look at it. Copper then chopping about. It's now 0.47 from the floor, so it's just below half marks. It's still not really doing it. And US steel has come up. It's 0.4 from the high, so it's 40% off the modelled high. So US steel doing a little bit better. Right, we'll get rid of this and then we'll do the final analysis. So today we've got this Bank of England rates decision, and tomorrow we've got NFP, and yesterday we had the Fed rates decision and meeting, so minutes or whatever. So dollar, euro, yen, pound, CAD, AUD, NZD, and we'll start with the AUD then. So we had that positive trade balance, and we had a relatively positive rates decision a while ago. We just had the FOMC in the Fed. They're talking about they sort of confirm that they're gradually going to taper, and we've got NFP Friday. We've had a positive ADP, but then that doesn't necessarily always flow through. We've got equities at highs, so that gives us a negative transmission in the yen. We've got a Bank of England rates decision today, so we don't know about that, and we've had this like situation where it's yo-yoed. It's basically hockey sticked up from its lows, the pound, and now it's starting to, in the Asian session, it's starting to come off a little bit. And the CAD, oil's come off. Oil's come off about whatever it is. Let's grab this. Oil's come off about 26%, so from the high. So that's where we are there. So 0.26 from the high. Right. Oh, we've got the Swiss, haven't we? Leave that out. Right. Okay. So if you look at the flows then, so yesterday, which was Wednesday, we had the pound positively driving. Remember, the pound had been beaten down, and we got the rates decision today. So and then over the week, the euro has been positively driving to the exclusion of all else in the majors. And the pound was relatively weak, and the dollar's basically come over the week. The dollar's basically come back to a neutral stance as well, so that's interesting. And in the Asian session, we're getting like dollar strength and yen weakness. So the dollar's driving in a strong manner in the Asian session, and we're getting a bit of yen weakness off the back of sort of neutral to positive equities, and the pound's come off, I say, a bit. And the euro's neutral, +2, positive rock. Right, so where are we then? So we've got this rates decision. The likelihood is that the pound complex. So if you've got the basic thing, we think the pound's going to basically bounce again. So the pound's going to have some positive flows after the BOE noise dies down. So the pound's going to be coming up. There's no reason, the noises are basically yen minus, so we've got a positive equity transmission. There's no reason for equity to sell off particularly, so the yen is likely to be soft. So if you've got yen softness pound strength. And that leaves you with the dollar and the euro. The dollar's starting to come back a bit off the back of, but that's a reversal flow. The dollar is likely to weaken again, so you're likely to see that sort of situation. So you're likely to see secondary dollar weakness, secondary euro strength, and yen weakness and pound strength. So and then off the back of that, it's going to be fairly risk on. But we're running into NFP, so that's the other issue. So, but the way the market is fixed, I think it wants to ramp a bit. So you're likely to see strength in the AUD. I think the AUD is going to be strong. So you want to be long some sort of AUD. AUD yen is the obvious one. And you want to be, once the dust settles, you want to be long the pounds as well. So that's where we are. That's the thinking at the moment with the flows and all the rest of it. So hope that was useful. See you again tomorrow for, was it Friday? Yes, for the daily briefing. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.